Today I'm going to be explaining how you can get 40% APR on your Ethereum. Let's hop right in. So Ethereum is currently sitting at 2.6k, and in the past month it is up very slightly, and in the past year it's up from 1.7k to 2.6k. Now I know many of you are bullish on Ethereum, and after the 2024 presidential election we could see some major price changes in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm here to show you how you can get the highest possible APR return on your cryptocurrency. If you're excited, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to turn on post notifications. Now we're of course going to be using Metrics Finance. Now if you don't know, Metrics Finance is the best software for liquidity providers, and if you aren't familiar with providing liquidity or how to make money with liquidity mining, let me quickly break it down for you. So say someone is going to sell 1,000 ETH for, let's just say, AV. For this trade to happen, there would have to be liquidity in place, and when the trade is executed, there are going to be fees that are going to be taken out of the trade. So you as a liquidity provider can provide liquidity, which is doing a service for both the decentralized exchange and the trader. So it's a win-win for the exchange, trader, and for you. And the reason why it's a win for you is that when a trader makes the trade and it gets finalized on the network, you can get a percentage of the fees that the trader pays. So it's a really cool business model if you aren't familiar with it already. So we can find these liquidity mining opportunities on this software called Metrics Finance. Now if we go over to the Discover section, we can see a list of options and filters. Some of what I'm showing is available on the free version of Metrics, but a lot of what I'm showing is going to be available on the paid version of Metrics Finance. So in the description down below, I'm going to leave a link where you can claim a free 30-day trial of Metrics Finance. So you definitely should take advantage of that if you want to start your liquidity providing journey or take it further. So first things first, since I already know I want to find pools that include Ethereum, since that's what this video is about, we're going to click this little button to the right of the pool button on the left and type in Ethereum in the include section. Now we're going to see a bunch of pools that include Ethereum. So it shows there's 420 pools we can go through that have Ethereum, and obviously that's way too many for us to be able to go through at once. So we're going to change some filters. So on the fees APR section, let's look at pools that have higher than 15 APR. And don't worry, if it says 20% APR or 15% APR, that isn't the finalized APR you'll get from this pool. When we actually simulate our returns and tighten our ranges, the APR can drastically go up. So we'll have this set at only showing pools higher than 15% APR. For TVL, let's look at pools that only have a TVL higher than 2 million like this. And now we're down to 315 pools since there's a lot of pools that include Ethereum. And since we're sorting by TVL right here, we'll see pools with the highest TVL first, and typically these will have the most consistent returns, which is what I'm looking for. So first, let's start out with this wrapped Ethereum to USDC position over on Uniswap. It says it's doing a 20% APR and has a TVL of 419 million. So if we go over to the simulate tab on the right, we can hit simulate, open it up in a new tab, and let's check this out. So we're going to set my deposit amount to $10,000 to simulate this position as if I had $10,000 invested into it. Now right off the bat, before changing our range, we have a 20% APR, and right now we're looking at this correlation chart and these charts with a 30-day calculation range. So we can zoom out and see how the pool has done over the past 100 days, or we can zoom in to get a more hopefully accurate estimate of our returns if we go even closer and see the past 14 days of data. I'm going to keep this at about 14 days of calculation range to try to help me get the most accurate simulation as possible. And scrolling down, looking at the volume history, you can see it's been pretty consistent. We had a couple high volume days on the 14th and 15th of October, but other than that, it's been pretty consistent. So let's go ahead and change our max price to about 2,811 and change our min price to 2,180. Now keep in mind, this is a pretty tight range, so you may have to do some adjusting, but right there, we're sitting at 30% yearly APR. Now that's great right off the bat. I probably would make the max price a bit wider and have a range like this, getting about 32-33% APR, so hopefully I wouldn't have to adjust my position as often, but nonetheless, it's a pretty solid return. Now with this range, we have 65% USDC and 34% wrapped Ethereum. Now if I move the max price up, we can see we take on more exposure to wrapped Ethereum and less to USDC, and if I move the min price down, we take on more exposure to USDC and less to Ethereum. So depending on which assets you're bullish on, you can change these as you wish and find your range. But right here with this range, we're looking at 38% APR, which is solid. Keep in mind that there are risks associated into this form of investing in decentralized finance. I am in no way a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do with your money. I'm just giving you my opinion on decentralized finance. So now I'm going to check if there's any pools that include both Bitcoin and Ethereum, since they're both very blue chip assets. So in the pool filter tab, I'm going to go ahead and type in first asset must include Ethereum, second asset must include Bitcoin. Now we have a couple pools to look at. This one says it's doing 735% APR. I can't imagine that would be consistent in the long term. And this one here says it's doing 33, almost 34% APR. This one has about $1 million TVL. This one has almost $2 million TVL, which isn't bad. So now I'm going to go ahead and check out this pool that has 735% fees APR supposedly. Let's see what that's about. I'm going to go ahead and simulate it. Now scrolling down, I see some major red flags. Look at the liquidity distribution. It's going down. And look at the volume history. We're having no liquidity on these days. So this is definitely a no for me. I'm not going to enter this pool. Let's go ahead and look at the other one. Yeah, another major red flag. The liquidity distribution is messed up, as well as the volume. So these pools I would not want to enter. So at the moment, Ethereum to wrapped Bitcoin is off the list. So going back, we can see more pools that include Ethereum. So look at this position here, wrapped Ethereum to Uni. Now this is Uniswap's Uni token, and it is doing about 37%. So let's go ahead and simulate this in a new tab and see what can happen. So if we put in the deposit amount of about $10,000, right off the bat with this range, it says we would be getting $3,784 per year, which is about 38% APR. Now I'm going to look at the pool in the past 100 days to get some more data. Now I'm going to look at it a bit closer. Now the range is looking really solid, but if I did want to tighten it a bit, look, it's about 39% APR. You could tighten it a bit more, but again, I want to try to make this as passive as possible and not having to do lots of adjustments to my position. But with the min price tightened a bit, we're looking at about 42% APR, so that's great, and we would be taking on exposure to both assets here. For example, if you were to take on exposure to this pool, make sure you do all the due diligence required on these assets and these pools. But this is looking like a pretty solid opportunity. The volume history is pretty consistent. We had a very high day here, October 10th. Other than that, it's pretty consistent. Remember, by clicking the link down in the description, you can claim a free 30-day trial of Metrics Finance, so go ahead and click that below. This pool right here looks interesting. So Sol to wrapped ETH. Sol is an asset I'm personally bullish on, so I definitely want to check out this pool. So it's doing about 29% fees APR. I'm going to go ahead and simulate this. I'm going to set the deposit amount to $10,000 right off the bat without changing the range. It's saying I'd be getting 28% APR. So I'm going to go ahead and change the max price to about here, and I'm going to set this calculation range to about 14 days again. So let's change our min price and our max price. If we were to have it set like this, we'd be getting 53% APR. So that's great. And in this actual range right here, we'd be taking on about 74% wrapped Ethereum and 25% Sol. And if we go ahead and move up our min price, we take on more exposure to Sol and less exposure to wrapped Ethereum. And with this range right here, we'd be getting 62% yearly APR. So say I did my due diligence on these assets and wanted to actually go invest into this pool, I'd save it to my portfolio and then I could actually enter it from there. And if I click this little build icon at the top, we can go over to the build section and see the pools we have saved to our portfolio. We can see the calculation range we have set and other information about the pool, and then I would go over to Uniswap because that is where this pool is, and then I could go ahead and enter it if I'd want to. I want to show you something really cool that we came out with. We call it the DeFi Elite Suite, and it's where the best liquidity providing software meets the best DeFi community. The DeFi Elite Suite is to help you minimize divergence loss, understand the complex DeFi analytics, and help you make your passive income become more passive. And one of our biggest goals is to help you become profitable with liquidity mining if you are not already. Now here's exactly what you would get. 1 year of Metrics Pro software, which is the software we've showed in this video. You'd get access to the DeFi Excel community, and you'd also get a one-on-one onboarding session to show you how to use Metrics Finance to its full potential. And you'd also get the exclusive DeFi Elite Starter Guide, which we have not given out before. Metrics Pro for a year is usually $480. DeFi Excel for a year is usually $360. But with the DeFi Elite Suite, you can lock in all this value, including the DeFi Excel membership, the one-on-one onboarding session, and the exclusive DeFi Elite Guide for $500 a year. This is an amazing offer, and I'm going to leave the link in the description down below so you can go ahead and check it out. Anyways, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to turn on post notifications, and I hope you received tremendous value from this video. Have a good one.